Namaste. Today's Indian Evidence Act 1872. I'm going to explain Section 10 and Section 11. Section 10 says, evidence to prove conspiracy. I think all of you know this word, conspiracy. Do you know? Indian Penal Code, Section 120A, gives the definition for the word conspiracy. What is conspiracy? Two persons or more than two persons agree to do an unlawful act or agree to do a lawful act by unlawful means. Such an agreement is called conspiracy. This is not in the civil world, and this is in the criminal law world. The criminals, they sit in the dark, they hatch the plan, they discuss how to execute the plan. And you know, they are so intelligent, so clever, that they are not going to leave any trials for their agreement. It is very difficult to secure the evidences for the conspiracy, to prove the conspiracy. So Section 10 says, anything or any act or any activity done by the conspirators, and if it is fallen into the hands of the authority, then it will be a relevant piece of evidence in the court of law against those conspirators. To analyze this, I would like to give a few cases to you. One case is called R versus Blake and Ty, 1844. R versus Blake and Ty, 1844. You know, this is about a harbor. You know, this harbor, from different countries, the ships will bring the passengers and also the luggage, the goods. And there is a department in every harbor. There is a department, that is the customs department. And in this custom department, whatever goods comes to the nation, that will be stopped there, and they have to pay the tax so that the goods can secure the entry into the nation. These two persons, Mr. Blake and Mr. Ty, they are the two persons serving in the customs department in the harbor. These two made a plan to make the money. Both of them secretly agreed to skip the goods in such a manner so that it can be taken out of the harbor without paying any tax to the government. So they entered into a conspiracy, very secret discussion between them, no proof. They were taking away the goods, and they were causing loss to the government. There was a doubt. Both of them were caught by the authorities for cheating the government. Both of them, houses, premises were raided, and they discovered that they were having the private diaries in their home. And in their private diaries, they were writing the amount of money that has been cheated and gained by them, and what was the transaction, who was the importer, all these details they had written in the private diary. So, when this document fell into the hands of the authority, and that document was produced before the court of law, and the court accepted it as a valid proof against conspiracy. So both of them were convicted for cheating the government. There is one more case about this. Mirza Akbar versus Emperor 1940. This Mirza, a young person, a very young man who was in love with a lady, her name was Meher Taj. So they were in love, they wanted to marry, but her parent never wanted to marry her off their daughter to this Mirza Akbar. They married that lady to some other person. But the love continued. The love continued between them. They used to, in those days, there were letters, and both of them were exchanging the letters. And in the letters they were showing their love, affection, cordiality. And they made a plan, they made a conspiracy. They want to marry, they decided, even though I am married, I want to marry you. And they decided, they made a plan to kill the husband of that lady. Mirza Akbar appointed a sharpshooter so that he can come and kill that husband, and afterwards he can marry that lady. So what happened? Mirza Akbar appointed a sharpshooter. He was paid the money, and the sharpshooter was shown the identity of that husband who has to be killed. As a result, the shooter found the target, aimed and shot him dead. When the shot was fired, the public gathered there and they caught hold of the shooter. At that time, this cunning fox, Mirza Akbar, comes running to the spot and tells the people, no, he has not done anything, leave him, don't harm him, leave him. So, he was responsible for freeing that sharpshooter. Naturally, doubt has been arose in the mind of so many persons. The police came to the scene, and police also doubted who was the killer, why he killed, what is the intention, what is the reason behind it, what is the benefit that he is going to achieve. Finally, the police visited both the houses, the house of that lady and the house of Mirza Akbar. They made a search. They discovered hundreds of love letters. They discovered from both the houses hundreds of love letters in their own handwriting. When all the letters have been arranged, it was a shocking thing that they were having love, they were having the affair, and the girl's father and mother married her off to other innocent person, and both this lady and this man made a conspiracy to kill that husband. So the court accepted this as a valuable piece of evidence to prove the conspiracy between Mirza Akbar and Meher Taj. So, they have been convicted by the court. Okay? So, 2 cases I have given you, and here 2 more cases to prove the word conspiracy. Kehar Singh versus the Delhi administration, 1988. You can easily remember this case. You put another name for this case called Indira Gandhi assassination case. For this case, okay? For this case, you can take one more name, Indira Gandhi assassination case. I think all of you know state of Punjab, one of the flourishing, richest state of bravery, Punjab. Once what happened, Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister. She has ordered Operation Blue Star. Underline this word. Operation Blue Star. You are young persons, you may not be knowing this. What is this Operation Blue Star? It is the entry of Indian Army soldiers inside the Golden Temple complex, so that all the terrorists hiding, controlling the Golden Temple complex can be either killed or arrested, so that the complex can be free from all terrorists. There was a leader for the terrorist. His name is called Sant Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale. See the name, very long name. Sant Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale. He was a teacher. He was a teacher of religion, the Sikh religious teacher. He was uttering the shlokas or mantras from the religious book called Guru Granth Sahib. And you know the politicians, how they destroy our country. Indira Gandhi was the leader of Congress party. Punjab was not liking the Congress party. And you know, she wanted to gain popularity in Punjab. She made friendship with this teacher, Sant Jarnail Singh Bhindranwala. She pumped lot of money to him with the hope that entire Punjab will start liking Congress. No. As a result, that Sant Jarnail Singh developed closeness with Pakistan. And you know, he had a dream to have a separate Sikh nation called Khalistan Independent Republic. So, Sant Jarnail Singh received the money from Indira Gandhi and also from Pakistan. There, they financed it, developed a terrorist organization and force. They have the equal strength to fight the Indian army. You can imagine. So what happened? Operation Blue Star was made by Indira Gandhi in order to stop the terrorists. They have already taken the entire Punjab into their control. So their headquarters was the Golden Temple complex. She ordered the Indian military to enter into the Golden Temple complex. Hundreds of Indian soldiers, they entered without slippers, without shoes, and from the opposite direction, the terrorists were firing. We lost so many soldiers. Finally, Indian army soldiers were successful. They fought for many days to flush out the terrorists, and finally all were killed, and there was damage to the Golden Temple complex. You know, it is a sacred place for the Sikh. So what happened? Now the Sikh religion decided to take revenge on Indira Gandhi. They made a plan. This party, Congress party, this Prime Minister is against Punjab. So the brain started working. You know, in New Delhi there is an office called Controller and Auditor General of India. Controller and Auditor General of India. There was an account officer, and his name was Kehar Singh. Okay? Originally he belongs to Punjab. This Kehar Singh was a fanatic, was a religious fanatic. He never liked the destruction of Golden Temple. So Kehar Singh started making the plan how to kill Indira Gandhi. He started studying the security of Indira Gandhi. He studied. Then he was happy to see that majority of the security of the Prime Minister belonged to the state of Punjab. They were all Sikh, and there were two young bodyguards by name Satwant Singh and Beyant Singh. They were the two bodyguards. You know, the Kehar Singh made a plan. He developed contact. He met both of them. In Delhi, there are so many Gurudwaras. And to one such Gurudwara, Kehar Singh invited those two security bodyguards. They came to the Gurudwara in Delhi, and their brain washed by Kehar Singh in the name of religion. Inside this Gurudwara, they took promise from both the bodyguards. It is called Ard, A-R-D-H, Ard in Punjabi language. And they took that promise, and you know, they said, we will definitely kill her. So Kehar Singh secured the promise. According to the promise, both the bodyguards, in the morning hours around 9 o'clock, when she was all alone taking a walk, both of them, killed her on the spot by pumping hundreds of bullets into her body. This part is over now. But you know, the Delhi police, they have a duty to find out the killers. So they started investigation. There is no proof. They started investigation. In those days, it was a difficult time to investigate, and they investigated. They came to the house of Kehar Singh, the mastermind. They discovered so many documents, communications made by Kehar Singh with number of Sikh religious people, Sikh people. They found the proof. They found the photographs of meeting of the bodyguards and the Kehar Singh. Finally, the case was filed and it came before the Supreme Court of India. The lower courts have given him death sentence, and now an appeal has been made to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said, Indian Penal Code, so many sections, that it is the murder of Indira Gandhi. It is an attack on the nation. Attack on the Prime Minister, killing of Prime Minister is considered as an act of war, waging of war against the government of India. Finally, Supreme Court accepted the proof of conspiracy by Kehar Singh, and he was given death sentence. He was hanged in Tihar jail, and his body was not at all given to his relatives, because they could have been made him into some other god or goddesses. So proof of conspiracy. Okay, so you can easily remember. You need not write all these points in exam. Write about 4 or 5 points. Okay, Satwan Singh, Beyond Singh, Kehar Singh, and their meeting point. That's enough. The documents, exchange of documents, photographs. Yes, they are relevant evidence to prove the word conspiracy. In the same sense, there is one more case. It's about Sri Lanka. We have a friendly country called Sri Lanka. And in Sri Lanka, there are two kinds of groups of people. One is Sinhalese and another is Tamilians. The natives of Sri Lankans are called Sinhalese. And the Tamilians, they were moved from Tamil Nadu to go and work in the fields of Sri Lanka some hundreds and 200 years back. And there was a rift. There was a dispute between these two class of people. Tamil people there, they were demanding a separate nation. And small country Sri Lanka. So, these Tamilians, with the support of Tamil Nadu people here in India, they started collecting weapons, arms, ammunitions, including even a small helicopter, to wage war against Sri Lanka. There were attacks, there were bloodsheds, and the whole world was watching. At that time, one of the Prime Minister was Mr. Rajiv Gandhi. And he tried to bring peace. I don't know whether he has committed a mistake or not. He called both the Tamil and Sinhalese to have a peaceful meeting, not to wage war, not to kill each other. And he said he readily agreed to assist both the groups of people, saying, I am going to send my army to your country so that you can maintain peace. So Indian army was sent to Sri Lanka, called IPKF, Indian Peacekeeping Force. But something bad happened in Sri Lanka by the Indian army. There were many rapes of the Sinhalese females. The Tamil women were raped by our own people. The leader of Tamil people was called Prabhakaran, Velluppalli Prabhakaran. He was the commander of a terrorist organization called LTTE, Liberation of Tamil Tigers Elam. This Prabhakaran, very courageous man, he suffered in the hands of the Indian army. They lost men and material. Finally, the Indian army went out of Sri Lanka. But the Tamilians wanted to take revenge on Mr. Rajiv Gandhi. By the time he lost his power, he was an ordinary man. He didn't have any power. He was moving from one place to another place. One day there was a program in Tamil Nadu that he was supposed to conduct a speech in a place called Sri Perumbudur, and the Tamilians there in Sri Lanka made a conspiracy. There was a man with a single eye in the LTTE camp. He was called Shivarasan. He was the intelligence chief collecting information about India. This Sri Lankan Tamils had a beautiful contact in Tamil Nadu, and the Tamil people had contact in Bangalore city. So, local Tamil people, they took part in the conspiracy. So many females. One female was called Nalini. Okay? So, all of them came to Perumbudur, and the females were ready with human bomb. They tried, when Rajiv Gandhi came there, they simply pushed the button and killed him into bits. So once a prime minister, now a dead body. And you know, this killing, the investigation by the Tamil Nadu police came to Bangalore city. All the killers, excluding Prabhakaran, was there in Sri Lanka. Shivarasan and his team, they took a house on rent in Bangalore city. They were living. And you know, one illiterate milk vendor lady, she discovered the team of killers. And the police, there was an officer called Karthikeyan. He was instrumental in collecting all the evidences. He collected. They raided that premises in Bangalore city. There they have discovered lot of arms and ammunitions, documents, photographs, so many gadgets. And all of them shown the proof of conspiracy to kill Mr. Rajiv Gandhi. On the spot of the crime, there was a camera which was recording. Okay? The camera which was recording all the happenings. And unfortunately, that camera could not be touched by the terrorist, and they went away, they ran away. And the camera contained a valuable piece of evidence proving the conspiracy about the killing of Rajiv Gandhi. So, according to section 10, any proof which explains conspiracy by the killers, by the criminals, shall be a relevant piece of evidence. And these 21 other people, along with Nalini, they were given different periods of imprisonment. Even today, some of them are languishing in the jails of Tamil Nadu. Okay? So you can also reduce this case. You need not explain all the things, only for your knowledge, so that you should not forget the case. For your knowledge, I have given you this simple case. Okay? So if they ask you a main question, explain the evidences to prove conspiracy, write this much, create your own 1 or 2 illustrations. Okay? So that's about section 10. We will go to the next important section, that is section 11. In short, it is called alibi. A-L-I-B-I. Alibi. What is this word? Alibi. You know, when we the human beings, during our lifetime, we have to be there in one place or the other place. On all these 24 hours, we have to be in one place or in another place. The question to you is, whether you are in home, whether you are in a hotel, whether you are in a bus stand, whether you are in a drama theatre, is it a relevant fact? Simply analyze. You are in a hotel. Is it a relevant matter to the court? Generally, no. One person may be here or there or in some other place. It is not at all relevant. But when that place and time, the question of that place and time comes before the court of law, then the proof or disproof of the presence of a person in that particular place, in that particular time, it will be considered as a relevant piece of evidence. And such proof of presence of a person in a particular time, in a particular place, is called alibi. A-L-I-B-I. Okay, so they may ask you for short notes. They may ask you for short notes. So if they ask you, at least I would like to give one simple case, and you should not forget this. It will teach you beautifully what is the meaning of alibi. Okay, so the case name is this: Girija Prasad Sharma versus Uma Shankar Patak, 1973. You know, in this case, if you analyze the history of India, once there was an acute shortage of food grains. India was suffering. There was hunger everywhere. The population was booming. 8, 10, 11 children like that. At that time, innocent Indians, they were producing. So, the scarcity of food. What happened? When food is not available to the people, naturally they will protest. They want food. Basic is food. They started protesting. They started protesting before all the governmental offices. So, there was one advocate by name Uma Shankar Patak. There was an advocate by name Uma Shankar Patak. He was honest, he was sincere, he was good, and a man of knowledge. Uma Shankar Patak was always condemning the illegal acts of the police department. He was to attack how the police are indulging in bad things. What happened? Police department, they started keeping an eye on this advocate. They wanted to destroy him. He is an advocate. We must teach a lesson to him. I told you, the criminals, whether in uniform or not, they always tries to find an opportunity to teach lesson. Wonder what happened. Hundreds of people have gathered in front of the district collector's office. I give you the date here. It is 2nd of January 1965. Remember the date. 2nd of January 1965. Hundreds of people have assembled. They were holding placards. They were shouting, demanding from the government the basic food grains. Police department, DYSP, Circle Inspector, Sub-Inspector and so many others wanted to utilize this opportunity. So they made a plan. What is that plan? One police officer gave an FIR. See that trick. One police officer gave an FIR in the police station saying, I was on duty on 2nd of January 1965. I was wearing my uniform and the people were there. There was a leader to these people and that leader was Umar Shankar Patak. This leader was present. He was instigating the people against the government and against the police department. So, when he ordered the people to attack the police, they immediately swung into action. They torn my uniform. It is an offense. The people have torn my uniform. It is an offense against the state. And another police officer wrote one more complaint. Same date, 2nd of January 1965. He says, this advocate, Umar Shankar Patak, was instigating the people and the people have tried to snatch away my official pistol. It's a serious offense against the police department. Nobody should harm, nobody should obstruct a police officer on duty. It is an offense. We must respect their uniform. So what happened? All these officers recorded the complaint and immediately, it was night, they went to the house of this advocate, Umar Shankar Patak, and he was arrested. He was arrested and he was detained. See, even good advocates suffer. Even though they know the law, they suffer. After 2 days, he came out of the detention. He was given the bail and the charge sheet was very high. So what happened? The trial was conducted. The allegation was, on 2nd of January 1965, Umar Shankar Patak was present in front of the office of the district collector. He instigated the people against the government and against the police. As a result, they attacked me, this officer, that officer. This was the charge. Fine. The trial continued. When the trial continued, and the defense advocate, Umar Shankar himself, started presenting the evidences on behalf of himself. He presented a wonderful piece of evidence. You may not believe. On 2nd of January 1965, he was presenting the case before the district civil court, and he never came out of the court until the completion of the day's proceedings. So the information, the certificate of the district civil court is enough to show that he was present fully here in the court and not in front of the district collector's office. I think if you study law of torts, there you will come across this case. So this was a wonderful case, and the court, you know, they just condemned all the police officers, and he was acquitted with a lot of dignity and respect. So you, me, or any person, we must have proof of our presence in a particular place at a particular time. Sometimes it will be useful before the court of law. But remember, in this example, in this case, the proof of certificate by the district civil court judge is a wonderful piece of evidence. So this piece of evidence is beyond reasonable doubt. Okay? So like that, when anyone comes and when you become advocate, when someone comes and you want to defend your clients, yes, you can take section 11, that is alibi. My client was not there on the spot of the crime. My client was there in a different place. But remember, you must show the proof properly, perfectly, otherwise you are going to lose this case. So this much, you know, this much is enough for short notes. So alibi is for short notes, and section 10, you know, it's for main question. Okay, essay type question. Enough for today. Goodbye.